Hi, everybody. I wanted to take a few minutes to just briefly let you know a little bit about me and um, what my venture is and what's going on with me so that you know a little bit about me and that I will hopefully get to know a little bit more about you as I am somewhat new. Well, I suppose in some ways new to this aspect of the tarot community in terms of putting myself forward online. However, I have started a new business and a new venture, and I think I may be absolutely crazy, but it feels really good and really right, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. So, I'm not new to tarot. I've been studying tarot. I essentially, oh, sorry, I'm gonna get myself a little bit settled in here. I got my first tarot deck when I was 20. I turned 50 this year. So tarot's been a part of my life for about 30 years. Did a lot of reading and learning and stuff. Certainly, in my 20s, I am a witch. I identify as a pagan and a witch. I've run women's spirituality groups. I've had my own, um, I guess you would call them coven of witches. I tend to work mainly within group feminist pagan groups or reclaiming tradition. Um, but that's that world. But in the tarot world, the last couple of years, I've been really intensely focusing in on it, and part of that is a result of a lot of the mental health things that have been happening in my life that have led me to want to use that tool as a means for understanding and connection for me. Um, I'm trying to figure out where the cat. Like, I'm sorry, I'm so new to this. I'm such an idiot. I don't even know where to look. God damn it. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Let me flip this around. Woo! Does that make sense? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, I gotta keep going. So, um, so essentially, where was I? Okay, I was working as a registered nurse, and I found that so soul destroying. And I just kind of hit the wall with doing that, and um, I couldn't do it anymore. So I really started to focus in on tarot. Did a lot of in-depth study. Wanted to really go deeper. Had a really, really difficult, challenging winter. Honest to God, I got a diagnosis this past years of borderline personality disorder, which was really also very challenging and difficult for me. Um, that's a topic for another uh, um, video, which I will do at some point. But suffice it to say that it was really has led to a lot of self-evaluation and analysis and so forth. Anyways, I went to the tarot. I really wanted to go deeper into the tarot, and I started doing some creative stuff. Had no idea how to use any kind of program, but I'm an artsy fartsy person. I have a music degree. I am a dancer. I'm a belly dancer. I'm a tribal belly dancer. I dance professionally as a tribal belly dancer. So art and music is a real passion for me as well. That is my life. It's what gives my life purpose and meaning. So I tried my hand at digital collage, and sort of once I got going, I did more and more and more, and I became crazy. I kind of got into this insane kind of Jackson Pollock state. But it wasn't just that. It was about me really connecting really intensely and deeply to the cards, because it forced me to take a really good understanding and in-depth analysis of the cards, not just what they mean, but also their symbolism, the symbolism that's there. And of course, it was Rider-Waite-Smith based that I was utilizing, and really trying to understand it, and so yeah, it started off as an exercise. It ended up being 2 tarot decks. Okay, so um, once I had done that, I wanted to have, a copy of the decks for myself, and that kind of led to me just going out and getting the decks produced and thinking, well, I'll produce a certain number and then I'll sell them on to whomever is interested. Um, and that resulted in a total of 1,000 decks, 500 of each. So those are arriving tomorrow off into the warehouse, and I know it's so exciting. And I already have some pre-orders, but they are available on my website at freyasdaughter.com. And if anyone's interested, I also have them on the Etsy site as well, if anyone's interested too. So that was sort of what led to that. And then from that end, I decided I really wanted to take this full force, started doing a lot more reading. I already started doing readings, I should say, at festivals and with an event last year. So I was doing a lot of that stuff already this past year. And then sort of put myself online and really kind of focused. I'd also set myself up online at a website online last year, but I really got more kind of business minded focus to doing that. And now I'm really kind of charged up to kind of really make this work. I hope, knock on wood. Okay, so here's the deal. This is a crazy thing. I've never done anything like business before, so this is taking a huge risk. I'm really scared, I should say, and that I'm gonna fall flat on my face. But I've been pulling a lot of cards, doing a lot of reading. It really feels really right. The connection I make when I read, it just, I don't know. It's it comes through me. It feels good. I feel like my readings are readings that have, insight, enlightenment, purpose. So it's not so much for me about necessarily the future, although that is definitely an aspect, and certainly in all my spreads there is that bit, but it's also about really kind of going under, having a deeper connection. And I think that for me has certainly come out of my own therapy and practice and understanding, and the work that I've done internally for myself. As a witch, and also as someone who has been to the really, really deepest and darkest depths, I kind of really see the world in two aspects. There is a light and the dark, and I don't discount either one. I think both of them are equally significant and important to a full, well-rounded life, that one can't have one without the other, that as difficult and challenging and painful as the dark and shadow aspects of life can be, they're also so crucial and necessary for us to, one, appreciate the light aspects, the good things that happen, but also to gain an understanding and insight and learn from the things that are going on in our lives. So they are tools and lessons for us. I believe that so strongly, and I feel that particularly as a witch, that witches and pagans, some pagans may disagree with me on that, but from my perspective, this is not how I sort of view my spirituality and religious faith, is that it's really kind of embracing and looking at and facing those dark demon aspects of it. So my deck, the Blood, Bread, and Roses Tarot, which, by the way, the name I took from that amazing Judy Grahn book, Blood, Bread, and Roses, which was so influential and crucial to me in my 20s with respect to feminism, and with respect to really embracing feminism, spirituality, and those things, that it just seemed like a natural fit for me at that time. So, and also to call my tarot that as well. So I really strived when I was creating the cards, and particularly because at the time that I was creating the cards, which was in the midst of a really, really deep and dark, depressive time in my life, I will be forthright with you about that, that a lot of the cards, and cards that may have, have had traditionally a kind of being came from the point of view of a real light side have also show their shadow sides of those aspects of it. So when the decks arrive, I want to kind of go a little bit deeper with everyone around some of my reasoning and rationale for some of the reasons why I chose some of the images, what my thinking was in my head at that time. It's interesting because it definitely is a snapshot in time, and it definitely is really me being really stark in some ways, really raw, really open and honest. And there's anger in the deck. There is pain in the deck. The deck no doubt will have images and come from a perspective that may really trigger some people. So I will warn you about that. I'm sure I'll get messages from people who are going to challenge me on some of the things that I said, and that's great. I welcome that. In fact, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing some of the responses. I hope that it invokes strong emotions and feelings in people, because it is definitely for me not just well, it's a number of things. It is a study of a time. It is a focus of me. It's me going deeper in tarot. It is me really ripping away kind of the rose-colored glasses around some of the images and the meanings of the cards. Me taking sometimes a really cynical, dark look at some of the cards. And yeah, I want it to really evoke strong emotions in people. So I'm very curious to see. I'm curious and scared a little bit to see what people are going to say. Some people might, I don't know. It'll be interesting. So, and that's that deck. I do have another deck as well, which is the vintage erotic deck that I created. And that came out of, well, I was in this Jackson Pollock moment again and being really creative. And then I love black and white photography. I love those images from the turn of the century. I love the beauty and sexuality of women of all shapes and sizes. I love sexuality that is real and raw again, and undoctored by this sort of obsession with perfection. And it's beautiful because of that. So I'll be, I hope everyone enjoys that too. I won't lie to you. There's like full frontal nudity. It is definitely, erotic in that sense. But there's also in some respects, some of the images have a real kind of a sweetness about them, kind of, I don't know. Anyways, you'll see when you see the deck and the pictures, and they're all images that really touched me and moved me, and ones that I loved as well. So I'd be curious to see what people have to say. So that has been my venture. Now I am really trying to get things started with getting readings online, getting reviews from people. I set up a profile here in Toronto under the eventsource.ca here in Toronto to try and do some of weddings and events and parties and stuff here. I love doing those kinds of things. Being a performer, for me, there's nothing better than kind of doing sort of that live one-on-one readings. I have to admit that is my favorite. I struggle a little bit with the email readings. I can do them, but I like the energy that I get from being, sort of either over Skype or Zoom or, in person with someone. I find that that's where I make the deepest and strongest connections with people. Phone is not so bad too, because you're having that conversation with them. My apologies, the dogs. My son just came up, so they are barking. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me. I called my store and my business Freyja's Daughter because I am Freyja's daughter. My matron is the Norse goddess Freyja, And she has been massively, massively influential in my life, particularly in the last, definitely the last 6 or 7 years, and has led me to some crazy stuff. A lot of insight and understanding, and a lot of really being in touch with me, my sexuality, um, my femininity, and also my spirituality in a real way. So it just, as soon as the name came to me, it was just, that was it. I am Freyja's daughter. Um, so my name is Wilma, and I hope to get to know some of you even more. And yeah, I can't wait for the decks to arrive. Once they do this week, I'm going to bring them out. I'm going to go through the images one by one for everybody on both of them, and hope that you like them. And maybe you won't. I don't know. We'll see. But this is this crazy thing I'm doing. And anyways, if anyone's interested in a reading, again, on my website at freyasdaughter.com. I haven't yet put any readings on Etsy. I'm debating whether or not to do that. We'll see. But yeah, thank you everybody. And anyways, I hope to show you more about what's going on with me, and chat again sometime. I kind of like this live thing. It's kind of cool. Anyways, I'm such a, being a mother with like 3 children, it's like just so much easier to like, ugh, go on. I mean, I can't be bothered to sort of like doing the other stuff. But anyways, I'll talk to you later. Subscribe below if you want to be updated on any of my videos. See you later. Bye.